Hey guys, and welcome to The Expansive Journey. My name is Julie, and today I'm going to talk about what is the ego. So, what is the ego? And this is going to be my perspective, so I want you to always check in with your own truth. Take what resonates with you and what can help you forward. This video also comes with a trigger warning, since most of us are living somehow through our ego, even though we are on a spiritual healing journey. The ego is not something bad or wrong. In fact, it is only the ego that can call something bad or wrong, because the ego is stuck in duality. So the ego is created by the mind, and the mind lives in a world of duality. Good, bad, up, down, feminine, masculine, young, old, negative, positive, left, right, all the dualities that you can imagine or that you somehow have experienced. So when we live through our minds, we experience reality through the mind's interpretations of a neutral circumstance. Most humans will not understand this because they are asleep, and nothing wrong with being asleep, but they think they are the mind. So everything is approached through the mind, and the mind makes judgments about everything. We are not our minds. We are a soul, and we are an aspect of the one source. And as explained in the first episode of the Awakening series, we forget our origin and who we truly are when we come to Earth as humans, and we take on this identity. And it's an identity that is separate from everything else around us. This identity is a form, a thought form, that is also extended and experienced through a physical form, which is our bodies. And before we are going through this awakening experience, we think we are this form. I say form, but that is just a general term of describing who you think you are, whether that be based on your past experiences, your interests, your opinions, your roles in social settings or in society, your career, your accomplishments. Basically, the one you think you are when you think of yourself. Imagine being in a job interview and they ask you, tell us about yourself. The one you would think of then is your form, your ego, your identity. I heard this analogy the other day, and I want to share it with you guys since I liked it so much. And it's about your soul. Imagine that you are your soul and you're sitting in a couch and watching a movie. And the movie has more than sight and sound. It also allows you to have touch and smell and taste, and you also feel emotions, and you constantly listen to the characters' thoughts. And at some point, the soul or you is so into the movie that you completely identify with the main character that you are seeing the movie through. You forget that you're sitting on the couch and watching the movie because you're so engaged in the movie. And something shakes you and it brings you back to where you are, sitting on the couch. And that is sort of corresponding to a spiritual awakening. The ego serves its purpose, but it's ultimately something that we have created and something that we identify with when we are unconscious. So for me personally, it all started with a sort of an existential crisis, an identity crisis, and I questioned everything about myself. Who was I? What's my role in this world? And I questioned everything about the reality that I was living in. Before that, I had going through life mostly on autopilot, not really thinking too much about the big questions. And for me, like for most people, the big questions really scared me. And that's because I thought I was the ego, and the ego is scared of the big questions because the ego is scared of being discovered. So I want to talk more about the mind in a different video, but today's takeaway is that the ego is not something bad or something wrong. It is simply a form that we have taken on and that we completely identify with before we go through a spiritual awakening. With that, I want to say thank you for watching. Please like this video and subscribe if this was insightful and helpful to you. And also leave a comment about what your perspective is. And if you want to join weekly group meditations, breathwork, energy updates, and more, then join me on Patreon in the expansive tribe through the link in the description below. Till next time, much love and namaste.